We're on Chapter 1, Section 2, the order of operations, which hopefully is review, but it takes some practice to finally get to where we can use these to solve problems. So I'm going to work through a few problems, and hopefully this will help. Now this one I did in class. We do the parentheses first, the innermost parentheses, even though we have parentheses on either side. So 6 times 8 is 48. I'm left with plus 2. Now I could put these parentheses back in, but I don't really need to because addition and subtraction are equal in our order of operations. So I could add, I could subtract, I could do either one of these first and it doesn't matter now. But I can reduce this one to 50 minus 1 equals 49. Now notice how I'm working top to bottom. I'm writing out my steps because organized work is going to make it easier for me, as in me, the teacher, and you, the person who's doing the work, to see where the errors happen. Next up, we've got parentheses, so we do those first. 3 minus 2 is 1. I'll bring the rest of the problem down, so I'm just bringing my 12 divided, my plus 1 down. 12 divided by 1, now I divide first. 12 divided by 1 is 12. Bring that plus 1 on down. 12 plus 1 equals 13. 21 plus 3 divided by 4 divided by 2. Oh, there's division. Which one do I do first? The parentheses. 21 plus 3, that's 24. Divided by 4 divided by 2. I'm just bringing this term and this term down into my next row. So now I can do either one. If I want to do 4 divided by 2 first, I can. If I want to do 24 divided by 4 first, I can. Or I could do them all at once. I know 24 divided by 4 is 6. Divided by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. You may have done that mentally. 24 divided by 4 is 6. Divided by 2 is 3, and that's fine. 34 and 33 are different kinds of problems. You actually have to simplify two sides and decide which one is greater than, less than, or equal. So I've just got to do the order of operations. I multiply first, then I subtract. 15 times 3 is 45 minus 2. I'm just bringing that down. 45 minus 2 is 43. And what about this? 15 times 3 minus 2. This time I do what's in the parentheses first. 3 minus 2 is 1. 15 times 1, just bringing that 15 down. 15 times 1 is 15. So the answer is greater. 43 is greater than 15. So this part of the problem is greater than this part of the problem. Same process for 34. 18 minus 6 divided by 3. I divide first, multiplication and division first. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. I bring down my 18 and I bring down my minus sign. 18 minus 2 equals 16. Now I do the parentheses first. Even though there's a division, I do parentheses first. 18 minus 6 is 12. I bring down my divided sign and my 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So 16 is greater than 4. These problems are tricky. I'm going to do 39 for you. I've got to insert grouping symbols to make each number sentence true. That means I've kind of got a trial and error to see how I can get these numbers with parentheses somewhere to equal 66. So I'm just going to try a few of these out. 7 plus 4 times 6 equals 66. Well, I would be doing 4 times 6 first anyway, because I always multiply before I add. So what I'm going to do instead for this problem is my trial is going to be putting the parentheses there. 7 plus 4 equals 11. 11 times 6, does that equal 66? Yes. So that's right. Now I'll try 41. 3 plus 8 minus 2 times 5 equals 45. I'm just going to start putting parentheses in places and seeing if it works. What if I do 3 plus 8 minus 2 times 5? Does that equal 45? That equals, let's see, 3 plus 8 is 11, minus 2 times 5 is 10, that equals 1. So I know that's not where the parentheses go. What about 3 plus 8 minus 2 in parentheses times 5? What does that equal? 3 plus 8 is 11, minus 2 is 9, and 9 times 5 equals 45. There we go. That's where I put those parentheses. So these numbers are kind of a trial and error when you do 40 and 42. Lastly, I've got to figure out the area of irregular shapes. We know area is base times height, but the trick is to figure out what is the base and what is the height. What you have to do is divide these irregular shapes into shapes that we know that we can figure out the area to. So I'm going to divide this one into two different rectangles, this one and this one. So I know that this rectangle is base times height, 6 times 3. Well, that's pretty simple. This one's going to be 18. But now I've got to figure out the area of this one. I know the base is 2, but what about the height? Well, what I can do is I can use this 5 and this 3 to figure out the height here. I know that the whole length of this is 5. I know that this is 3, and this plus this is going to equal 5. So 5 minus 3, that makes this side 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. Now I add those together and I get the total area, which is 22. I have to write two expressions, so what I can say is 6 times 3 for my first rectangle plus 2 times 2 for my second rectangle. And as I already added those up, that gives me 22. So I'd do the same thing on these ones. I'd probably, it looks like they give you a little hint, I'd probably put one right here, and then maybe another one, and another one, and another one. But it's up to you, because we're trying to solve problems. Whatever strategy you use works.